Today I have a watch that is likely the craziest I will ever review, but for all its craziness, it's actually pretty damn cool. This new release from Stratton has a trick up its sleeve, and I mean quite literally up the sleeve. If you're looking for a watch that is a conversation starter, a watch that will turn heads, then this is a watch that you definitely need to check out. In this video we'll take a look at the Cuff Buster, a brand new watch that is unlike anything you've seen before. Now I'm sure that we're all sick to death of hearing terms like disrupting the industry, revolutionary, and even changing the game. Thankfully, this watch by Stratton isn't trying to do any of those things. Even though this watch is completely unique to anything else you'll find around, it's also self-aware of its limitations and its own abilities. Kyle, the owner over at Stratton Watch Company, very much knows that this is a watch that is going to divide opinion. He even mocks the watch itself on the Stratton website, quoting enthusiasts who have left negative opinions about the watch. He understands that this isn't a watch for everybody, rather a watch for somebody. And to the right person, I'm sure this watch is exactly what you've been looking for. Stratton have created this watch for a bit of fun, to create something that will spark an emotion deep in your stomach, whether that be the need to vomit or the need to strap the watch on your wrist. Either way, they've tried something different. So here it is, the Cuff Buster, in all of its asymmetrical glory. This watch is designed to stick out of the sleeve. Now, you might think to yourself, why the hell do I need my watch to stick out of my cuff? Well, let's be honest, you don't. But with the extreme cold weather here in England, for example, it is rather cool to be able to wear a thick coat with a pair of gloves and still be able to see your watch. Now, aside from the incredibly strange case that the Cuff Buster has, the watch itself is actually a fairly normal chronograph. The watch features a normal bicompax layout. The dial surface features a grained metallic texture that is beautiful and plays with the light. The subdials are framed with steel and have different levels of finishing, and the outer dial features an incredibly steep chapter ring that has a tachymeter scale. And although this is one of the weirdest, wackiest watches in the world, in my opinion, this is one of the most beautiful chronograph dials that I've ever seen. Inside of the Cuff Buster is the Seiko Mecha Quartz VK67 movement. However, this is a modified version of the VK67. I'm guessing the modification has been done to tilt the movement so that you can have the bullhead configuration. Now, I'm personally a huge fan of the Seiko Mecha Quartz movement. I love the fact that you get the reliability and accuracy of quartz, however you get the mechanical feel of the chronograph with those pushes and the smooth sweep of the chronograph seconds. I also love how the watch is just always running. You don't have to wind it or shake it, it's there when you need it ticking away. Now, insanely, for some reason, this watch has 100 meters of water resistance, thanks to the signed screw-down crown and the screwed-down case back. Now, I personally can't imagine many people are going to go swimming with this watch, but it's always nice to have the reassurance of knowing that if you do need to use it for some sort of water activity, then you're covered. The crystal covering the dial on this piece is also pure insanity. It climbs incredibly high above the case, and the views from side angles are just crazy. The crystal itself is a sapphire-coated K1 mineral crystal with AR coating. Now, the case of this watch is of course where the party happens. Everything is made from stainless steel. The left side of the case is a solid slab of steel purely there to support the chronograph dial to the right hand side. Because of the excess steel, the watch does feel heavier than a more traditional watch, but I'll cover this in the next section of the video, so stay tuned. All of the steel is finished to a good standard, and I think you'll be rather impressed with the level of detail on this watch. This one is a prototype, however. The full version will come with a scratch resistant coating on the steel surfaces, and those steel surfaces do pick up fingerprints and marks very easily, so you'll find yourself needing to clean it with your shirt fairly frequently. So the scratch resistant coating to the case will help with that sort of demand. But of course, when you're wearing this watch with a cuff, the steel isn't visible. Now, flipping the watch over, you'll find the lugs hidden under the case. This adds stability to the steel when on the wrist. Speaking of, you're probably all thinking, surely this watch is incredibly uncomfortable to wear. Well, it's certainly different. The lug to lug on this watch is actually only 37mm, and the case diameter at the widest point is 61mm. The thickness of the chronograph side is 13mm. So yeah, this watch wears unlike anything else that you'll strap on your wrist. And yes, the case does hit the wrist when you're bending your hand. So yes, you can still move your hand whilst wearing the watch just moves with it. But is it a strange feeling? Yes, Absolutely. But let's get on to the most important talking point about this watch. This is not a watch that's made for everyday wear. This is not a watch that you will strap on in the morning and just go about your day. This is a watch that has quite literally been designed to only be worn a few times a year. It's a watch that is made to be worn when you're feeling flamboyant, when you feel like just having some fun. Maybe a watch to wear when you're going to a watch meetup, or a watch to wear for literally 30 minutes just while you show your friend who's visiting you how crazy the watch is. Yes, this isn't the most comfortable watch to wear. It's actually quite annoying sometimes, in fact. Now, you've probably already got a watch for when you go in the ocean or go swimming, and you've probably already got a field watch for when you go exploring. But do you have a watch that is purely there to spark interest about the hobby that we all love, that gets somebody to ask you a question, what are you wearing? And that's what Stratton have set out to achieve with this watch, and I think it's fair to say that they've absolutely nailed it. Now, price. Stratton are offering the first 500 units at $349. After the first 500 watches sell, the price will be going up to $499. I believe that there is around 40% left of those first 500 units at the lower price. So if you are interested in picking this incredibly insane watch up, I'll leave a link to it down in the description, where you can read more about the watch's design, check out all of the other dial colours that are available for this watch, and even purchase the watch if you're feeling a little bit crazy. If you liked this video, then I think you should go and watch this one here. 10 watches that you could buy and just quit collecting altogether. It's a really good video, go watch it, I'll see you over there.